Tag TV brings you daily news bulletin from India. Breaking news and views from India.
Good evening, welcome to South Asia Newsline. I am Uzma Jafri. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Monday, the 10th of June. Indian court gives life term to 3 convicts in child rape and murder case. Indian Prime Minister concludes visit to Sri Lanka, Maldives. And Afghan peace talks entering a new stage, says US Special Convoy Khalizad. And now for all the details. An Indian court on Monday pronounced life imprisonment to 3 main convicts and 5 years each in jail to 3 others in the rape and murder of an 8-year-old girl in India's Jammu and Kashmir province last year. The shocking case had last year led to the introduction of the death penalty for rapists of girls below the age of 12.
An Indian court on Monday convicted 6 men of involvement in the rape and murder of an 8-year-old girl in India's Jammu and Kashmir province last year. The court in its verdict gave life imprisonment to 3 main convicts and 5 years in prison, each to the rest 3 in the case. The girl from a nomadic Muslim community was drugged, held captive in a temple and sexually assaulted for a week before being strangled and battered to death with a stone in January 2018. The abduction, rape and killing of the child was part of a plan to remove the minority nomadic community from the area, the 15-page charge sheet said.
6 हुए हैं इसमें यहाँ विशाल को छोड़ के सारे सांजीराम इसमें अनंत दत्ता दीपक खजूरिया तिलकराज सुरिंदर परवेश हाँ विशाल को छोड़
The case had shocked India and led to the introduction of the death penalty for rapists of girls below the age of 12. The trial, held in private, began over a year ago in Pathankot, a town about 44 miles in Kathua district of Jammu and Kashmir, where the incident happened.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in New Delhi on Sunday, concluding his 2-nation visit to Sri Lanka and Maldives. This was his first foreign visit following his re-election.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi arrived in Sri Lanka on Sunday on the second leg of his maiden trip abroad after assuming office for a second term. He was received at the airport by his Sri Lankan counterpart Ranil Wickremesinghe and other senior officials. Prime Minister Modi went to St. Anthony's Church, which was the target of the Easter Sunday bombings on April 21, which killed more than 250 people. He honoured those killed by Islamist militants in the bombings and vowed support for the island nation. He also met Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena and both the leaders agreed that terrorism is a joint threat that needs collective and focused action. Prior to his visit to Sri Lanka, Prime Minister Modi visited Maldives, where he was conferred with the country's highest honour accorded to foreign dignitaries. Modi was presented with the most honourable order of the Distinguished Rule of Nishan-e-Zuddin by Maldives President Ibrahim Mohammed Soli in capital Male.
आज मुझे मालदीव के सर्वोच्च सम्मान से सम्मानित करके आपने मुझे ही नहीं बल्कि पूरे भारतवर्ष को एक नया गौरव दिया है। निशान-ए-जुद्दीन का सम्मान मेरे लिए हर्ष और गर्व का विषय है।
The Indian Prime Minister also addressed the lawmakers and signed a slew of agreements with the island nation, encompassing ferry services, port terminals and a new national cricket stadium.
Veteran Indian actor, filmmaker and playwright Girish Karnad passed away on Monday in southern Bengaluru city. 81-year-old Karnad succumbed to a prolonged illness at his residence. Karnad predominantly worked in South Indian cinema and Bollywood. Born in 1938, he rose to fame with a Kannada play named Tughlaq, which he had written at the age of 26. He was a recipient of the Gyanpith Award, the highest literary honour conferred in India. He had won several accolades for direction in Kannada cinema. Karnad is survived by his wife and son. The government of southern Karnataka province has announced a 3-day state mourning and 1-day public holiday over his demise. News just in. The National Accountability Bureau has arrested Pakistan's former president and Pakistan People's Party co-chairman Asif Ali Zardari in the fake bank accounts case. The arrest came hours after the Islamabad High Court rejected a plea by Zardari and his sister Faryal Talpur seeking an extension in their interim bail in the case for money laundering worth millions from fictitious accounts. Moving on. Locals in illegally occupied region of Pakistan-administered Kashmir are feeling the pinch as fuel prices have been hiked by Islamabad amid spiraling inflation. Inflation has reached its highest in more than 5 years and people are fearing the worst for the future.
Inflation has reached its highest in more than 5 years in Pakistan, and the situation is also affecting Pakistan-administered Kashmir, the region under its illegal occupation. Residents in the region have been feeling the pinch as soaring prices of most commodities have left lower and middle-class customers in despair. The economic crisis has also affected small businesses and traders, and they fear the worst for the future.
इस दफ़ा वो सिस्टम नहीं है, बिल्कुल भी लोग दुकान पे आ ही नहीं रहे, इतना रश है, लोगों के पास खाने के लिए जो उनसे पैसे पूरे नहीं हो रहे, खरीदारी के लिए कहाँ से लाएंगे, इतनी महंगाई है कि लोगों का जीना महाल हो गया है।
यहाँ तो लोगों को खाने के लिए नहीं है तो बाज़ारों में क्या चहल पहल होगी, क्या महंगाई इतने अरूज पे गई है और गरीब आदमी का तो मुश्किल है, जीना मुश्किल हो गया है। ये कपड़े की दुकान आप देख लें, फारिग बैठे हैं, ये बाज़ार में देखें आप, ना बंदा ना बंदे की ज़ात है, उसकी बेसिकली वजह है कि महंगाई अरूज पे और गरीब आदमी पिस रहा है।
Pakistan-administered Kashmir was illegally occupied by Pakistan more than 6 decades ago. Islamabad has left the public in the region reeling under abject poverty and a state of neglect. They have to suffer badly due to its failed policies.
In news from Afghanistan, US Special Envoy Zalmay Khalilzad has said that peace talks are entering a new stage after his meeting with Afghanistan's President Ashraf Ghani in Kabul. He said that Afghans must be engaged more than ever in the peace process.
US Special Representative for Afghanistan Reconciliation Zalmay Khalilzad, who is on a 16-day multi-nation trip, met Afghan President Ashraf Ghani in Kabul on Sunday. After the meeting, Khalilzad tweeted, "The peace talks are entering a new stage and Afghans must be engaged more than ever." He said both the sides agreed preparation for intra-Afghan negotiation now is essential. The Taliban has repeatedly said foreign troop withdrawal is a precondition for peace in the war-ravaged country. The group held talks with Afghan politicians in Moscow last month and said reaching a ceasefire is impossible unless foreign forces leave Afghanistan. Khalilzad had earlier said that the United States and the NATO will make a shared decision on remaining in Afghanistan or leaving the country. He is supposed to meet the Taliban leaders in Doha in the near future, which will be his 7th meeting with the members of the group.
More on news from Afghanistan. War-ravaged Afghanistan continues to lead global opium production despite efforts by the government to curb production and trafficking of drugs in the country. Farmers have expressed they have no choice but to work at the poppy fields for a better future as the money provides a big boost to their income.
Harvest season has started in Afghanistan and it's a busy time for farmers. Instead of traditional wheat or corn, farmers can be seen scratching poppies, a herbaceous plant with showy flowers and pink sap, in the Panjwai district of Kandahar province. These unripe poppy bulbs are first crushed to release its viscous sap, which when dried becomes opium. After being processed, it turns into heroin and other drugs. Farmers say they do not have a choice but to work in the poppy fields for a better future. The money provides a big boost to their income, considering the average Afghan worker is estimated to bring home $760 in a year.
دا د کوکنارو سیزن چې دی ډېر وخت چې ونیسي نو 18 یا 19 ورځې ونیسي په دې وخت کې موږ ډېر څه لاسته راوړی سو بیا د هغه تر څنګ موږ ته یا پیسې راکړي یا شیده راکړي د شیده بیا په ډېرو پیسو باندې خرڅېږي چې هغه موږ مثال لپاره خپل کورني ضرورت رفع کولی سو.
A narcotics official said there has been a 42% decrease in poppy production in Kandahar and all over the country this year. But to stop the poppy cultivation or eradication requires money, which the government is not able to provide.
مشکل دا و چې مخکې خارجیان موږ سره کومک هم کاوه د کمپاین مصارف یې راکوله هم د افغانستان مملکت دغه اسلامي جمهوریت دونه بودیجه نه لري چې ټول بزګرانو ته کومک ورکړي یا بدیل معیشت پروژې ورکړي.
Opium is produced from poppy, and opium trade fuels Taliban's war machine in Afghanistan, which is a major concern for the government.
Moving on to news from Nepal. Nepal's longest running chariot festival concluded on Sunday with a ceremony where the bejeweled vest of the rain god was put on display. The centuries-old ritual is said to assure rain and a good harvest as well as guarantee good omens for the country's rulers.
Rato Machindranath Jatra is the longest running chariot festival of the country dedicated to rain god in Nepal's Lalitpur. During the festival, a chariot with 60 feet tall spire is made out of bamboo and wood, and the idol of Rato Machindranath is placed inside it by a priest. The festival is celebrated by pulling the wooden wheeled chariot across the various parts of the city. Locals were seen merrymaking on Sunday as the chariot festival concluded with Bhoto Jatra, a ceremony where Bhoto or the bejeweled vest of the rain god is put on display. The jewel-studded vest is packed and kept inside the cloth pouch for a year and opened only in the presence of the state head on particular day fixed by the priests. President Bidya Devi Bhandari, along with other dignitaries and Nepal's living goddess Kumari, attended the ceremony.
Scores of people treated their taste buds with seafood during a 3-day national fish festival organized in India's southern Hyderabad city. More than 100 dishes were served through 20 stalls set up at the festival, which concluded on Sunday.
People in India's southern Hyderabad city treated their taste buds with seafood during a 3-day national fish festival. More than 100 dishes, including fish biryani, a spiced rice dish, fish cutlet, fish fry, fish fingers, prawns fried rice, were sold through 20 stalls set up at the festival. Organizers of the event said that the response was really good, with more than 5,000 people attending the opening day of the festival.
We are conducting the fish festival to promote the domestic consumption of fish and also to create awareness among the public about the health benefits of consuming fish.
I've been really enjoying the festival so far. There's been a wide variety of food. Some of it is actually cooked on the spot, so it's pretty great. It's actually very fresh. Thank you to the Telangana government for organizing it.
Participants from India's 4 southern provinces, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Tamil Nadu and Kerala, put up their stalls during the festival. The 3-day festival began on Friday and concluded on Sunday.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. Indian court gives life term to 3 convicts in child rape and murder case. Indian Prime Minister concludes visit to Sri Lanka, Maldives. And Afghan peace talks entering a new stage, says US Special Envoy Khalizad. Now our viewers can watch the show on SouthAsiaNewsline.com. You can also visit us on Facebook.com/SAsiaNewsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsiaNewsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.